how you start these conversations with your kid is really important, and more specifically, the timing. In my perspective, being proactive is really, really key to this. So going to your child on the front end before there's a problem. A great example of this is if you've learned about a new social network and you know that your child's going to come and ask for that social network, is going to them and starting to ask for it. Say, hey, I'm thinking about getting a Snapchat account. Can you help me set mine up? In that process, you can say, hey, do you have a Snapchat account? Let's set you up one, right? Your child is like, what? You're allowing me to have Snapchat? Well, yeah, we can learn this together. Things like that are really helpful. And the same thing applies with the technology itself. Going to your child and saying that you want this technology on their phone or on their social apps is kind of tough. But there's these golden moments when they're saying, hey, I think I'm going to want a phone. Now you can bring it up at those golden moments, right? So I used the example before of, when you get your driver's license, right?
Right.
And it's the same type of stuff. It's being on the front end of the problem before it gets hairy, scary, and making it not weird for you to be engaged in their life. Okay.
That's right.
Where it gets really hard is when you as a parent have decided, or just because life's been so busy, that you're not going to be a part of their digital life for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden you show up one day and say, I want to be a part of this. You say, why? You've never cared before.
What do you do if you're in that position as a parent?
They've already got this really tough situation because they've created a bad environment. The only thing you can do is fall on your own sword. This is not about your child. You've made a mistake. It's the reality. We may not like to admit it. And I think that's where you can go to your child and say, listen, I know that this is how it's gone, and I'm sure it's going just fine. But as technology is moving forward really fast, I'm getting more and more uncomfortable, and I really don't know what to do. I'm in uncharted territories. I've never been a parent of a 16-year-old before,
Yeah.
in this situation. And so these are the kinds of things I'm going to need to start getting comfortable. The problem is I'm just learning too much, but not enough to be comfortable. So I'm learning enough to be scared, but not enough to be comfortable. And so can you help me solve this problem? And start that dialogue that way. Don't expect them to just say, sure, Mom, here's all my usernames and passwords.
Right.
But if you start the dialogue with it being about you, and you're trying to do your job, and you're doing it in a loving kind of way, that's really your only chance of this not turning into a confrontation. When it's all said and done, there are going to be parents who are going to have confrontations with their kids. And I think at that point, it's important that a parent knows where they stand on this issue. And I like to say that if it's not important enough for you to fight for, you shouldn't bother to go down this path at all. So you make that decision on the front end, and if you are, then you need to stand by that and say, well, listen, I hear where you're coming from, and I want to make you a party to this, but at the end of the day, again, you don't get to decide how I deploy my love for you. This is something that I'm going to need you to do, as long as you want to use, the internet I pay for, and the phones I pay for, and the social networks that you access with my Wi-Fi and things like that. You hope it never comes to that. And I'd say for the vast majority of people it won't. If you make this about you want to be a better parent, then I want to make you a better kid.
That's right.